Are you ready to embark on a journey into the intriguing world of The Great once again? As the show continues to push boundaries, surprise audiences, and delve deeper into the lives of its captivating characters, one can't help but wonder, what thrilling twists and turns await us in The Great Season 4? Join us as we explore the latest developments and ponder the exciting possibilities that lie ahead in this extraordinary series. You know a TV show is truly exceptional when it feels like it's been a part of your life forever, right? Well, that's exactly how it is with Tony McNamara's The Great. It's like that comfy old sweater you can't part with, even though it's had a few snags along the way. This show, which spins the mostly made-up tale of Catherine the Great and her tumultuous marriage to Peter III, has some pretty cool traits that make it stand out. It doesn't hold back on the sass, serves up absurd humor with a side of cheekiness, and all of this is set against a backdrop of stunning sets and fancy costumes. Now, even though it's had its share of highs and lows in previous seasons, Season 3 is here to prove that The Great can still surprise us. It's like the series has decided to go to the dark side, but in a good way. This time, it's digging deeper into the story, adding some juicy layers to keep us hooked. So, buckle up, because it's about to get even wilder in the world of The Great.
I have banned beards in men under 50. Tis a better look. The big Russian beards look like men are eating a whole beaver, and it will not do.
So let's dive into what happens after Season 2's dramatic conclusion. Catherine, at her wit's end with Peter constantly undermining her rule and possibly being involved in her mother's death, storms into her husband's room and, well, let's just say she attacks him from behind. But here's the twist, she didn't actually go after Peter himself. Instead, her target was Peter's body double, Pugachev. Talk about a case of mistaken identity, right? Now, with Pugachev surviving the ordeal, there's a major dilemma in Catherine and Peter's relationship. How do you stay with someone you're convinced tried to have you killed? So, in true The Great style, they turn to 18th century marriage counseling to figure things out. Surprisingly, Peter doesn't seem too bothered by the fact that his wife recently tried to off him. In fact, he takes on the role of a stay-at-home dad this season, even carrying their son Paul around in what's essentially an 18th century fur-lined baby carrier. However, don't let this domestic bliss fool you. There are still moments of tension between this seemingly content couple. Despite Peter's claims that he's perfectly fine with Catherine running the country, he can't resist asserting his own opinions at times, leading to some pretty heated arguments between them. Being in a position of power isn't always a walk in the park, and Catherine is about to face what might be the toughest year of her reign. At the end of Season 2, she gathered up all of Peter's most ardent supporters, and that included Muriel, who always seems to have her own interests at heart. Now, Catherine is faced with a major decision. Does she go full-on ruthless and start executing all the folks at court who've been conspiring against her, or does she opt for a more diplomatic approach? It's a tough call for sure. You might see this coming, but the situation that unfolds as Catherine reevaluates her alliances leads to some fascinating power shifts during the season. Notably, Georgina, who has been a prominent critic of Catherine, appears to have had a change of heart during her absence from court. She's now positioning herself as one of the Empress's top advisors. This twist sets the stage for some rather comical clashes between Georgina and Mariel, who both vie for Catherine's favor. Picture them engaged in physical battles in the background, trying to outdo each other and be the first by Catherine's side. It's a recipe for some of the season's most humorous moments. The tension between Georgina and Mariel is further fueled by their unique personal connections. Despite being trapped in a marriage to her child cousin Maxim, Mariel's romantic involvement with Grigor is still going strong. However, Grigor's attention is increasingly diverted by the threats to his closest friendship, which could potentially lead him falling out of favor with Peter. The arrival of King Hugo and Queen Agnes, who had successfully escaped a recent attempt to overthrow their rule in Sweden, adds another layer of complexity. King Hugo is keen on becoming Peter's new best friend, much to Grigor's dismay. This dynamic adds more intrigue to the relationships within the court. The season's intricate interpersonal relationships often prove to be more captivating than the political maneuvering. What's even more fascinating is how these two aspects frequently intersect, especially for Catherine. Her position within the court and throughout Russia becomes increasingly precarious. Dissenting voices grow louder, and even those she once relied upon for support, like Orlo, are beginning to withdraw their backing. As if this weren't enough, an unexpected death shakes the court to its core. This shocking event throws all the characters into chaos, but it also adds depth to the show as the cast navigates a roller coaster of emotions and challenges. One standout in the cast is Elle Fanning, who delivers a more intense and layered performance than ever before in her role. In previous seasons, Catherine typically exuded a level of optimism and forward thinking, even in the face of numerous challenges and adversaries, including her own husband. As we enter Season 3, it becomes increasingly evident that Catherine's facade of confidence and self-assuredness, which she has meticulously maintained in public, is beginning to reveal its weaknesses. With tensions escalating both within the palace and in the broader context of her rule, the loss she experiences further fractures this facade, pushing her to the limits. McNamara's sharp and incisive scripts take Catherine, portrayed by Fanning, into emotionally intense territory. There's a poignant moment where she breaks into tears even though she has a mouthful of food, which encapsulates the series at its most simultaneously hilarious and heart-wrenching. This moment serves as evidence that The Great, with its dark humor and unconventional storytelling, can still explore fresh and exhilarating narrative territory. Fanning isn't the only cast member granted the opportunity to delve deeper into their characters' complexities. Many others get this chance in the aftermath of the heartbreaking loss that sends shockwaves through Catherine's court. Aunt Elizabeth, portrayed by Belinda Bromilow, maintains her somewhat quirky demeanor, but there's a lurking sense of malevolence beneath it. While Aunt Elizabeth may initially intrude into private chambers in hopes of catching Catherine and Peter during their intimate moments, when things take a serious turn, she proves to be just as shrewd and relentless in safeguarding the existing power structure, regardless of the schemes and deceptions needed to maintain it. As for Nicholas Holt, he once again takes on dual roles in this season, deftly portraying Peter's emotional struggles as he's pushed into a subservient role, and also embodying the grungy coarseness of his body double, who miraculously survives multiple stab wounds from the end of Season 2. In fact, Pugachev emerges as the most significant challenge to Catherine's rule, as his capacity to mimic Peter gains notoriety beyond the aristocracy. Who could be more adept at inciting the common people into fervor than someone who closely resembles the adored former emperor? What truly sets apart the latest season of The Great is its ability to organically progress the series as a whole, introducing daring and potentially thrilling changes for its future. While there might be some initial challenges if a fourth season were to happen, The Great retains its core strengths: exceptional performances, dynamic relationships that keep evolving, and characters who consistently find themselves in remarkably unexpected situations. At this stage in the narrative, does it truly matter whether The Great occasionally deviates from historical accuracy when its most exhilarating form of revisionism is its own storytelling? This marks the end of this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and share it. Let us know your opinions in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you at the next one.